Hi everyone. This happened several years ago, and for a long time I stopped talking about it altogether. Not because it didn't matter anymore, because people tend to respond with hindsight instead of empathy. They ask what you should have done without understanding.
Elantra? Bro, that's I don't
moment.
think they could put that in there.
But I think people hearing this will understand. So here it is. At the time, I was living in a
She kind of looked like Grace from Resident Evil.
second-floor apartment in Raleigh, North Carolina. It was a quiet area, the kind of place where neighbors waved politely but kept to themselves. I worked as a medical assistant.
Never mind, she does not look like Grace.
And my schedule usually had me home by early evening. That afternoon, I came home just after 5 p.m. I unlocked the door, stepped inside, and let it close behind me with a dull click. I tossed my purse on the counter, set my phone beside it, and kicked off my shoes.
Oh,
I didn't bother locking the door.
this shit creeped me out
countless times before without a second thought. My partner was supposed to be home within the hour away.
Ooh.
That habit ended that day. I walked down the hallway toward the bedroom, sorting laundry and half listening to the hum of the traffic outside. I was in the middle of hanging up clothes when I had heard the front door open. I smiled instinctively and called out, "Hey, I'm back here." There was no response. That uneasy feeling, the one you can't quite explain, settled in immediately. I stepped out of the bedroom and into the living room. Someone was standing near the kitchen counter. He wasn't masked. He wasn't holding anything.
See what I'm saying, bro?
There. A man that I had never seen before, older than me, watching me silently like I had surprised him. For a brief, foolish moment, I wondered if he had the wrong apartment. That thought vanished.
So I'm not gonna lie. I would be lying if I said I accidentally walked into somebody's apartment, bro, by accident. But nah, hear me out though. I don't think it was necessarily my fault that it happened though. Dude, I don't think this is supposed to be allowed, but the last place I was staying before I moved here, right? The key fob, because it wasn't key, bro, it was a fob entry into the doors and shit like that. So, I stayed on the 5th floor, right? And it would be like 01, 01, but the number of the floor would be different. So it'd be like 1, 01, 2, 01, 3, 01. Bro, the elevator took me to the wrong floor and I didn't know. Bro. People announce themselves when they hear. And they explain the shit, bro. I don't know, bro. I don't know. It'd be how you would have to ask them niggas, bro. Seriously. But the niggas, bro, listen. The key that I had, right? I was on the corner of the building, right? So every floor had a corner, right? And I was on the left corner. So boom, I'm on the 4th floor. Mind you, I don't know I'm on the 4th floor, right? I used the key to the door. I'm thinking I'm not paying no mind to it because I'm like, bro, the elevator put us on this floor. It's the right floor. Bro, put the key up to the door. And oh my God. I click into it. The shit turned green. I turned it, I opened it, I walked in. It's a nigga in the middle of in the living room on a PC looking back. I said, what? I was like, I was like, what the fuck? I shut the door. I said, bro, what the fuck? Okay. How the fuck we end up on the wrong floor? Here's the crazy part, bro. It didn't happen just one time. It happened twice in the same day in under 10 minutes. Bro, and I think the elevator was on some tweak status, bro. The elevator was tweaking out. So boom, go back to move some more stuff. Right? Go back to get some more stuff. Come back again. And now this time I'm looking at it. I said, all right, 5. Nah, that bitch want to go 4. Whole time I'm thinking it's on 5, so I hop off again. Mind you, I wasn't really paying attention either again. So mind you, we had left the door unlocked, right? Because we was moving shit in and out. So I left the door unlocked. I just go straight for the door. The shit flies open. Same room again. He's like, wrong room. I was like, bro, what? I'm like, what the fuck? I said, bro, my bad. I was like, bro, my bad. And it's like, bro, what the fuck? That's why, bro, when, bro, y'all, bro, play, but it wasn't like, bro, that's what I'm saying, bro. I don't think I can fully be blamed for that shit, though, because why the fuck does everybody on different floors, but in the same area, has the same key. Why am I putting my key up to the dude's building that's right below me and on top of me, and it works? Come on, bro. That actually has to be like suable or something, bro. Cause imagine my shit gets stolen because somebody else that lives right up under me used the same key fob to get into my shit. Come on, bro. We gonna have to sort it out. Look, bro, I'm glad that nigga wasn't on the couch butt naked watching something he ain't had no business watching. I'm glad he wasn't, walking around butt naked in the house. Cause I know it, bro. If you in your own home, bro, if you want to walk around butt naked, bro, go walk butt naked. Do whatever you want to, bro. If you want to have shit swinging and dangling, or if you want to have shit, walk around your own house, go do that then. Ain't nothing wrong with doing that. And it wouldn't have been my fault if I would have caught something like that. But it would just been like, damn, bro. Now I gotta sue the apartment building for emotional distress. They had me seeing shit I didn't want to see. And then just imagine if that would have happened. That's diabolical.
I raised my voice and I told him that he needed to leave. I tried to sound confident, tried to make myself bigger than I felt. What? He didn't react. Instead, he reached down and picked up my phone, then my wallet, then my keys. One by one, calmly, like he had all the time in the world.
What?
That was when panic really took over. The only other way I could contact anyone was my laptop, sitting on the desk by the window. I rushed toward...
Alright, so we're not locking our doors when we get home?
I grabbed it and ran past him toward the bathroom. I slammed the door shut and locked it just as I heard footsteps behind me. Within seconds, the handle rattled. I ran into the closet, locked that door too, and dropped to the floor.
Whoa. I don't know any place that has a closet in the bathroom with a lock on it. That's irregular.
My
Never
hands
heard
were
of that.
shaking so badly, I almost couldn't open the laptop.
Crazy for that with me, shit. Emergency services. I wish that, like, if it was a MacBook, I wonder if you spam the power button, will it bring up the call?
The first messaging app I could think of and sent frantic messages to my partner, begging him to call the police. He replied quickly. He said help was on the way. He said that he was leaving work also. I sat there, knees pulled into my chest, listening.
Me too, man. That's what I'm saying.
The door opened. Footsteps moved closer. The closet door shook violently, then stopped. I didn't scream. I didn't cry out. I didn't fight. I was frozen completely, utterly frozen, convinced that if the door gave way, that would be the end. Now,
I would have went out fighting.
This part, they often ask why I didn't do more. I don't have a satisfying answer. Fear doesn't always look like action. Sometimes it looks like stillness. The noises moved away. I heard things breaking, cabinets opening, glass shattering. Time stretched and warped until I had no idea how long I'd been there. I messaged my mother. She lived states away. I told her I loved her. I asked her to keep replying even if I couldn't respond right away. I didn't want to be alone. Eventually, the front door opened again, this time followed by shouting. I recognized my partner's voice. Moments later, everything blurred. I remember the intruder being restrained. I remember sitting on the floor, shaking uncontrollably. I remember the police lights through the windows.
I don't know who's dumber. I don't even think she's necessarily dumb, but definitely the nigga who broke into the house is stupid. You broke into the house, let her contact the police and whoever she needed to contact, and you're just standing in the house just like, what are you doing, nigga? You got what you came for. Leave. Why don't you still just, nigga, want to go to jail?
Later than I expected, though I know fear distorts time. They took the man away, and I got my belongings back. I answered questions mechanically. As one officer was leaving, he told me that I should always lock my door. At the time, it felt like blame.
Why do all these people in here look tired? They got these rings around their eyes.
The incident itself lasted less than an hour. The aftermath lasted years. Even after we moved to a quieter town to a safe...
This a weenie exit. What?
I couldn't sleep. Every sound felt threatening. Every night felt like I was waiting for something terrible to just happen again.
No, that's definitely Grace.
Eventually, I realized that the fear wasn't about where I lived.
Now, I'm not gonna lie. What size of that bed? I ain't gonna lie. That might be longer than... And let's talk about the body proportions right here. This got to be something bigger than the California King. Look at where her head is versus where her feet is. Come on, bruh.
It was about how helpless
that long ass bed with that small ass headboard.
Something uncomfortable. I walked into a self-defense studio and signed up. At first, I stayed quiet.
Yeah, that nigga went his ass beat. What the hell, this nigga doing one-footed kicks? Oh yeah, bruh. Get taken down.
I avoided attention. But over time, slowly and deliberately, I rebuilt something I thought I'd lost forever. My confidence.
Okay then. Oh yeah, I know punching like that.
You ain't shit. In that closet still exists, but she no longer defines me. I don't judge her anymore. She survived the only way she knew how, and now I know more. If you've experienced something like this and you still feel haunted by it, I want you to know you're not weak and you're not broken. Healing doesn't look the same for everyone, and there's no timeline for it. Thank you all for listening. If sharing this helps even one person feel less alone, then it was worth it. Stay safe. This is still the most terrifying thing that has ever happened to me. What haunts me isn't just what occurred, but how narrowly I avoided something far worse.
Okay.
Sometimes I replay it in my head and realize that a single different choice, a single second longer, and I might not be here to tell this story at all. This happened about 4 years ago. It was when I was in my early 20s and still in university. On paper, my life was stable. I lived in a quiet neighborhood most people considered safe, tree-lined streets, families out walking in the evenings, nothing that ever made the news. I shared a modest apartment with my younger cousin, and we had an aging spoiled cat who believed the entire building belonged to him.
Any of y'all got pets? Or had a pet before? You know, currently right now I'm taking care of 2 turtles for my younger brother. No big deal. Yeah.
Growing up, I'd always loved combat sports. I wasn't exceptional, but I was committed.
Oh, so that means he got his ass whooped.
Boxing, jiu-jitsu, a bit of karate. Anything that taught me discipline and awareness. Training gave me...
I'm not gonna lie though, if we doing karate, right? He didn't say he was doing karate. Yeah. I don't think this is effective on no nigga unless it's hitting him in the neck area. And I'm not
reality took over.
And I'm not talking about no nigga that's like strong neck or anything like that. I'm talking about niggas like, cause I ain't gonna lie, if a nigga taught me back in my day, I might got down and be like, you're like, damn, man. I ain't gonna lie though. I feel like that's the only effective way to actually hurt somebody with a karate talk. Yeah. And like, okay, yeah, you hit me in my face, but like any other part of my body, like, okay, boom, you got my neck in my face, bro. But if you know, oh my God, you hit my arm. Now I gotta pick you up like both hands, like I'm Undertaker. I'm gonna squeeze, and then I'm gonna drop you straight on your back. You feel what I'm saying? Like that's exactly what's gonna happen.
But training gave me confidence in my body and my reactions. But when I moved to the city for school, reality took over. Long commutes, endless coursework, late nights. Slowly, training slipped out of my routine until it became something I told myself I'd get back to someday. Our apartment just sat above ground level. The back of the building faced a neglected strip of greenery, a tangled mess of trees and brush that separated our building from an old service road. There was a narrow metal staircase attached to our kitchen balcony that led straight down into the shadows. It wasn't something I liked to think about, but we always kept that door locked. Always, except when the cat wanted out. My days were exhausting. I left home late in the morning and often didn't return until after dark. So when a friend offered to drive me home one evening...
Bro, why is he not blinking, bro?
I was relieved.
That boy geeking, bro. Look at him.
Just as the sky was dimming into dusk, the building felt strangely still. I unlocked the door, stepped inside, and called out my cousin's name out of habit. No answer. This wasn't unusual. He was often out and doing things. But something about the silence felt heavy, like the air itself was so tense. Only one lamp was on near the entryway. The rest of the apartment was dark. I remember pausing, my hand still on the door, listening.
What?
Nothing. Yet my stomach tightened. That familiar instinctive warning that something wasn't right. I moved slowly down the hallway toward the bedrooms. That's when I heard it. A door slammed, hard enough to echo throughout the apartment. It came from my cousin's room. At first, my mind scrambled for a normal explanation. You know, maybe he'd been showering and just panicked when he heard me come in.
Nah.
Maybe he was playing some kind of a prank.
Nah.
But then I heard voices, low hurried whispers, not playful, not familiar. They sounded urgent, pressed. My heart started pounding. I became painfully aware of every sound I made, the creak on the floor, my own breathing. Before I reached his door, I glanced into my bedroom. It looked like a bomb had gone off. My drawers were pulled out, clothes scattered everywhere. Books lay face down on the floor. My desk was bare, as if someone had swept everything off of it in one violent motion. That was the moment everything clicked. Someone had been inside my home. Fear didn't freeze me, it flipped a switch. I didn't think. I didn't calculate risks.
I would have been mad as hell.
My body just moved before my brain could catch up. I slammed my shoulder into my cousin's bedroom door with everything I had.
Oh yeah, I like this
The door
nigga.
burst open. The room was empty but destroyed. Mattress askew, closet torn apart, belongings strewn everywhere. Whoever had been whispering moments ago was gone. I
They
sprinted
underneath
toward
that
the
bed,
kitchen,
bro.
adrenaline roaring in my ears, and threw open the balcony door. Just in time, I saw a man scrambling down the metal staircase. He stumbled when he hit the ground, almost collapsing before regaining his balance. He looked ordinary. That's what terrified me most. No mask, no weapon, just a regular man who had been rifling through my life moments earlier. I screamed, raw, furious, wordless.
Nigga, they're playing the Black Ops zombie loading screen on Call of Duty.
The adrenaline drained fast, replaced by shaking panic.
This how you know you
I
listen.
realized what was missing. It was my
This is that sound right there is how you know you finna load into a smooth ass zombie mouth. Kino, they're toting. You know I'm finna run up the stairs, dolphin dive right off and take a little bit of damage. But I'm not gonna fully die though. Then you know I gotta come through. I gotta come through with the ray gun glitch. Run up to the box. You know, lay on the ground. Do my little 360, lay back on the ground, get up, turn, shoot the box, you know, do the whole little wazoo Shazam. Now I have the ray gun in my inventory now. Let me get that pack-a-punch ray gun V2. I'm shooting red. Boom, boom, boom. Come on, let's all know.
I tore through the apartment in a frenzy, sobbing, pulling things apart.
Whoa.
Destroyed. Now, that laptop wasn't just an object. It held my schoolwork, my personal files, my connection to my friends that I talked to every day. Losing it felt like I was losing my footing entirely. I collapsed onto the floor, gasping for breath, my hands numb. I called my mom. I don't remember what I said, only that she kept asking me to slow down. Later, she told me that my words were all jumbled, switching languages mid-sentence without warning. The police arrived eventually. They asked questions, took notes. I looked around. Their presence felt hollow, like a formality rather than protection. That's when we found it. A pillowcase stuffed with our belongings abandoned in the chaos. Both laptops, jewelry, and old electronics. Inches away from where I'd been searching, unseen because my mind was still spiraling. Nothing ever came out of the investigation. We removed the staircase and installed motion lights. I tried to rebuild a sense of
What the
safety.
fuck? How are you even allowed? This nigga said they removed the staircase. How the fuck are you allowed to add a fucking staircase to an apartment building? That's a spiral. Mine just a spiral staircase. Y'all, what? Removed?
But something fundamental had shifted. For months afterward, every shadow made my muscles tense. Every unfamiliar face near my bus stop sparked irrational fear and anger. I caught myself scanning crowds, replaying the scene, imagining what I would do if I ever saw that man again. Eventually, we moved, and I went back to training. Not because I believed I could overpower danger, but because I refused to live feeling helpless. Training grounded me. It gave me some kind of control over my breath, my reactions, and my fear. It reminded me that strength doesn't disappear, it just waits to be reclaimed. Sometimes I still think about that awful night, about how thin that door was, how easily my blind courage could have gotten me killed. And yet, if I'm honest, I know myself. I probably would have charged in anyway. To whoever decided my home was an easy target, you took something away from me.
How did you
that
remove
night,
them stairs?
my sense of safety. But you didn't take my resolve. And if our paths ever cross again, I promise you I won't be the same person you ran from.
Yeah, buddy.